So we are ready. And I'm glad to have you on this stage to speak about going global. I would like to introduce our guests. Oliver Weimann from Ruhr Hub and Business Angel, and Alexey Girin is CEO of Starta Capital and Starta Accelerator. So please say some words about you, about your companies. What are you doing?
Oliver. Okay, then I'm going to start. So on the one side that you kind of get a short impression about me. I founded my first digital startup in 2007, kind of 11 years right now ago. And then in 2010, I founded my own company, and we do some digital communication for different companies. We invest in startup. We developed our own online and mobile solutions and then funded them out. We are now host of the one of the top 3 startup events in Germany, so-called Ruhr Summit. Kind of 5 weeks ago, we had roughly 5,000 people in Bochum altogether, and so I was being asked to run the Ruhr Hub. Ruhr Hub is an initiative to on the one side to power startups and to speed up startups, and on the other side to connect and matchmake startups and corporates in the most efficient way. And I guess we are talking about that later on. So now it's your turn.
Starta is a venture company including accelerator in New York, follow-on fund, also co-working space in New York. So our main goal to bridge gap between companies with Eastern European roots and US business culture. So the process looks like we take companies from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, Baltic countries, and so bring them to New York, giving them a program. We accelerate them for 3.5 months, and then we make follow-on investments in best companies after acceleration program. That's it.
Thank you. I should say that we as GoTech is a kind of infrastructure. We have a matchmaking tool for startups and corporates and funds, and we have more than 6,000 startups in the database, and we see that 90% of them want to go global. And I want to ask you a question. It is a real fact that to enter any market is a very difficult process, and you need a kind of support from a good partner in the specific country you want to enter. So please tell about you as a partner. What are you doing? Do you have kind of networking with corporates or investments in Germany and USA? What is your core advantages for companies?
Okay, so talking about any accelerator program, I'll say that networking is main thing that any accelerator provide. For sure, there is some mentors program, some other facilities, but finally, networking is the main power of any accelerator program. So we in Starta have, for this moment, big, I'll say, huge networking in New York. When we started, we know only a few people in New York, and so we cooperate for this moment with all main tech corporations, Facebook, Google, that had the offices in New York and Manhattan. And by the way, this is the offices that like front offices with the teams and managers that usually companies in our program needed. It's marketing, sales, it's people who doing business, and all the startups who are looking connections with Microsoft, of course, Google, Facebook. It's the main people. They're sitting in New York. So also in New York, you have a lot of headquarters of companies in fintech, advertising, media. So New York is the best place to get all these contacts from our networking, or to create your own networking, because it's quite easy to do in New York. People are very open to any contacts, and you can easily find people you need in LinkedIn and connect with them and meet like in couple blocks from space where you're sitting. In New York, people are very open to any communications.
What about you, Oliver? The core advantages of Ruhr Hub?
Actually, from the historical perspective, all these initiatives were mainly built for startups from this region, because if you read about startup scene in Germany, you often read about the triangle Berlin, Hamburg, Munich. There was a study from PwC which pointed out that North Rhine-Westphalia is now startup region #1. Obviously, we have much more people than the others, so it's kind of, yes, we are getting better. So this was the first part, but mentions that we are organizing Ruhr Summit. We had startups from over 50 countries. So what are the main advantages of our region? It's as Alexey said, you really need to focus on what are you trying to achieve. If you're planning to have an advertising business, then New York is a good place to be. If you want to look for clients in B2B areas, like the whole industrial scene, it's no matter if it's VR, AR in an industrial space, if it's big data, if it's IoT, if it's robotics, then the Ruhr area, or North Rhine-Westphalia in total, has a lot of potential clients to offer, because they are just next door. That's one main part. So we have built out 4 different sectors where we really support startups pretty heavily. This is in our region. It's on the one side, it's IT security, because half of the IT security experts are built out by one university in Bochum. Then we have the field of let's call it industrial tech. We have this field of environmental tech, no matter if it's energy or if it's refurbishment. And then we have the 4th area, which is e-health, because we have a huge depth of health suppliers in our regions, and they really open the market in this kind of complicated health industry.
Okay, thank you. And what is the stage of the company you are looking for? Which recommendations can you give to our audience? When is it better to go to enter German market and USA market? What is your opinion?
Probably it's the same. It's like whenever you are ready with your product, when you're ready with kind of showing what you have developed, then it makes sense, because our major impact is really the network and opening doors. Then we have partners like the Chambers of Commerce or North Rhine-Westphalia Invest, NRW Invest as partner of this event as well, and they open doors for international startups. And then we really can kind of spread that. It's like, as an accelerator, we do the same. So we give feedback on the business model. We shape the business model. We help to find investors. But if you don't have kind of a whatever proof of concept, it doesn't make sense to go global, in my view.
So, yeah, for sure we need companies with MVP, with some traction on the origin countries. But first of all, we are looking for people with entrepreneur mindship that have ambitions to make something global. So everything is quite easy. People must want to do something, and they must show us that they already can achieve something by traction in the original country, MVP, or some anything else. But we must say, wow, yeah, you can do something.
And what is the selection process in your hub and accelerator? How to enter? How to find the right person? You, maybe the right person, or is it a kind of online process or something?
Okay. So in Starta, it's online process. 2 times a year we open doors for applications, and usually program starts. Fall program starts in August, and winter program starts in February. So from June to July, we open for fall program with applications, and from October to December with winter. It's all online, and if so, we look for these applications, and next step, best applications convert in one-to-one sessions with partners, and usually we have about 700 applications, and we accept 20, 25. So all information you can find on our website, startventures.com.
Okay. And how many startups do you have in one batch?
About 20. Usually we take more, but sometimes some companies have visa problems or family problems. So, for example, we accept 22, 23, and finally arrived 20, 21.
What about you, about ruhr hub?
It's regarding, so we have kind of a structure of different programs and different kind of ways to challenge startups. The one is Accelerator, of course. There we have kind of a similar program. It's like you apply online, and then we select it down via different rounds to the personal meeting or the Skype meeting first. And but what is probably kind of interesting is we have created a program is called Challenge Pitch or Corporate Challenge Pitch. So we force our corporates in our region to really define concrete what digital challenges they face at the moment. So it leads to a chatbot for HR processes or whatever, but or drone inspections on the production line, and then we publish these concrete challenges and select startups worldwide. And this is so I'm doing the same advertising moment. So it's have a look at beyondconventions.de, and there are challenges at the moment open from Siemens and ThyssenKrupp and Energy and a couple of other really big corporates. So and in this process, it's at the end, it's a corporate who selects the startups invited to present. And it's in this case it's a bit special because what we figured out is if you put a startup and a corporate together, it's mainly that it takes months and endless until they really start working together. And so in this process, we have one supplier and one motivator internally in the company because he or she wants to solve his personal challenge. And if the startup provides the right solution, they really start working with a pilot the week later. And this is kind of the path we follow through. So last year we had applications from all over the world. There was a team from South Africa and Australia and a couple of teams from Russia. And so this is kind of a really good starting point to enter the German market, because then you have not only the pilot and some money, you have a reference on your website.
And do you give any money at the entrance to your infrastructure, or somehow do you help to get investments?
Then I'm starting here. So it's regarding our acceleration programs. It's not that we provide money. We provide the network. We provide mentoring. We provide access to the corporates. And there as well, if they start pilot programs together, we force the corporates to pay the startups for that. So this is what we do. And regarding the corporate challenge pitch, whenever they kind of being connected to start working, then the corporate is paying the startup.
Alexey.
So our program includes services that we provide, space for startups. Also, we give 20K in cash, and inside the program we give to companies, let's say, part-time team members in such fields as sales, marketing, UX, UI. So in this topic that startups from Eastern Europe usually are not strong, we give like for each company part-time team. So, and the cost of program is 130K, and as I told previously, 20K from this cost is cash, and all other it's our services.
Okay, and yeah, the one, yeah. And will you say some words about ruhr summit? When it happens, and how is it big, and whom can we meet there, and how to attend?
Yeah, I mean, I love to do, because I mean this is kind of what we have achieved was a really small team over the last years. So the Ruhrgebiet as an area has not been recognized for startup activities at all, and we said, okay, we wanna create an event which has two targets. The one is really to show the scene how big it is in this region, and from that point to have the spotlight of startups in Germany, at least for one day on our Ruhr area. And the second aim was you don't get really great speakers for 70 people. So, but if you collect 500, then they come. So, and we achieved that a couple of years ago. No, not a couple, in 2016, with the first event, and we had 650 people there, participants, and this year we spread it out over 3 days. Had in total 5,000 different people there, 4,500. And who you can meet there? Startups from all over the world. You can meet investors from mostly from Western Europe, mostly Germany, obviously, but Western Europe. You meet all corporates from our regions. So if you're a B2B startup, you can apply for a booth and really present yourself to the corporate clients in that region. And what we try to attract, because I mean, these kind of digital transformation thing is one point on our agenda as well. So we try to get these SMEs ready and open up for digital transformation topics, and because we see huge potential for startups there as well. And this is kind of a hard thing, so we'll have some work to do over the next years. But yes, this is kind of the summary in total what you find at Ruhr Summit as one major event.
So I think there are 3 events in Germany which are known now at the moment in Russia. It's Bits and Bretzel in Munich and Pirate Summit in Berlin. And your Ruhr Summit is the 3rd, and it's for
October 1st.
Yes. Okay,
October
it's
1st is
I began from Munich because it's during this festival with beer and pretzels.
No, the guys from Pirate Summit, it's in Cologne, not in Berlin. So it's and they really do a great job. And if you take into account, but they are kind of limited from their space, so it's kind of more a community thing. But they really do a great job. And what I still recognize as a startup event is NOAA conference in Berlin, and this is huge as well. So Bits and Pretzels is definitely the leader in Germany.
And Alexey, will you tell us about your success stories? We as GoTech, we see a lot of startups and here to the presentations, and we know that everyone who was in Starta Accelerator are the best, really. We see that they are good in presentation skills and timing and marketing. So please tell about your success stories. The bright names.
So if we are talking about exits, yeah, we have several exits, and the amazing thing that we have some companies that get the exit only in 2 years from start to exit. So last month, ServiceNow bought our portfolio company, Friendly Data. So also we have some exit events in fintech, in crypto. So we have several management buyouts. Speaking about other things, so totally our companies after acceleration raised about $80 million totally, and about 65% of companies are still alive after our program. I mean, if we're talking about companies who was in program a year ago or earlier. So we have really good statistics, and what makes me happy is that sometimes I see these results in different things. For example, one of the companies who pitched today, it's Hyperverse. They opened their VR location in New Jersey. It's half an hour from my home, and it was really amazing to go there and to play like with facilities of the company in which I invested, and it's something really amazing when you can touch results of what you are doing.
So, Oliver, I know that you had that you already have meetings at Deal Room here with the startups. Will you say some words about your impressions and recommendations for them? How to go global? How to grow?
No, we I had a couple of meetings. I guess I saw 12 startups, so that was kind of impressive. And I saw the 14 on stage before, so the quality of the startups you have here, you present here, is pretty good, and most of them are ready to go global. So this is no question about. And what we discussed on the table was mostly that. Some of them just wanted feedback on their business case, feedback on their models, on their stage, and this is all fine. Some of them just looked for investors, but I guess 4 of them could get a direct intro to potential clients, and I'm waiting for the slides, and I'll do so next week when I'm back in Germany. And again, another 3 or 4 are ready within the next 4 to 6 months. So this is really great. And I guess let's take it from the broader perspective. If you are a Russian startup and you want to enter the Central European market or the European market as in total, then I guess our region is a good starting point, because you are. Geographically, you are really central, pretty close to France, to Spain, to Italy, to all these places. You have still a good connection to the Russian market. I mean, the plane takes 3 hours, so that's pretty easy one. And the third one is what we already said. It's we have the industrial clients around the corner. No matter if you're really looking for production, mechanical-wise or chemical-wise or whatever, then we have a depth of universities. So talent is raising there, and as a Russian startup or as a startup from overseas, you really need somebody on the ground from that region. And we can be an open partner, and we have it's not only the Ruhr hub. There are 6 of us in North Rhine-Westphalia. So just get and contact us, and we help you to take the first steps in there. And as said, NRW Invest is open for international companies to go to North Rhine-Westphalia, and there are some funds and some kind of governmental money. So there are opportunities, no question about that.
Okay. Thank you. And is it? Do you need to speak German to go to enter German market? Is it?
Yeah, natürlich.
So you're heavily welcome. I guess I won't get you back from New York, but no, I mean, honestly, obviously it helps, no question. It would make my day easier if I could speak Russian as well. So yeah, but if you see the people in especially in our region, it's like we have a huge parts of the population coming or having their roots in Russia, having their roots in former Soviet Union states, having their roots in Poland. So there's some cultural or some subcultures which are kind of welcome these new Russian kind of startups entering the German market. But obviously German helps, but it's not a necessity.
Okay, thank you. And Alexey, will you tell us about maybe how to choose the right accelerator and why to go to Starta? Why not somewhere else? What is the main advantage?
So yeah, there's hundreds of accelerators all over the world, and if we are talking about US market, I think Starta is the best entering point, because we accept companies with Russian-speaking roots, and if you look around and let's say look at 500 startups, Y Combinator, they do not select a lot of companies from Eastern Europe, or maybe 1 or 2 in a batch, and the reason is that companies from Eastern Europe, when they previously never been in the US, they're really different and they do not adopt for doing business in United States. And I think Starta is really best place that can prepare and help to know how to do business in US. And what we see after Starta, it's much more easier to be accepted in 500 startups, in different other acceleration programs, because founders became more matured, more like adopted for doing business globally and understanding how to do it. So, and finally, you'll get first round of networking, also understanding of what to do, how to do, what not to do. So for sure, you can apply to different accelerators, but just look at statistics. So not so much companies accepted at first, and then we have special programs, and we know how to adopt companies. As I told previously, we may be the only one accelerator who provide part-time teams in those things that companies from Eastern Europe are not strong, marketing, sales, UX, UI. So we give really top professionals who works with companies on weekly basis. So Starta is the best, believe me. No, no.
Okay.
Starta is the best, believe me.
Thank you. Okay.
And the
Thank
whole,
you.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.